In the 1920s, Marlboro at the time was making cigarettes only for women. At the time, people already trusted tobacco, but they didn't trust filtered cigarettes. Because filtered cigarettes at the time were not considered tough, they were not manly. The filter itself was seen as something very soft and very feminine. And there was even a practical detail to those filters. The filter tip was colored to hide the lipstick stain, and that alone tells you who these cigarettes were made for. But everything changed in the early 1950s, when the medical studies revealed that smoking is now linked with the lung cancer. And smoking went from being normal to maybe dangerous. And suddenly, those feminine filters mattered. But here was the problem. Men didn't want to be associated with something feminine, so they actively denied all those filtered cigarettes. So this very strange gap created one of the biggest marketing opportunities in history. And Philip Morris understood it immediately. And instead of changing their product, they decided that they are gonna change the story of their company. So they went to Leo Burnett, one of the biggest advertising geniuses in history, and they decided that they are gonna change something radically. So they took their feminine cigarettes and turned them into one of the most masculine symbols in the world. The strategy was very simple. They needed to show men that the most independent and the most powerful men are smoking filtered cigarettes. So they tried various characters to promote their brand as something very muscular, and eventually they ended up choosing the cowboy as their hero. This one wasn't a profession, this one was an American myth. It represented freedom and strength. And this idea gave birth to the Marlboro Man. The Marlboro Man wasn't about smoking, it was about identity. And it actually worked faster than anyone expected. So they first tried to use models as cowboys, but something actually went wrong. It didn't feel natural. So they ended up switching to real cowboys and real ranchers. The most famous cowboy was Darrell Winfield, who was the Marlboro Man for over 20 years. And what's even more interesting is that most of those cowboys didn't even smoke. They didn't even know how to hold a cigarette. So in their ads, the star wasn't actually the cigarette, it was the cowboy himself. And that's when everything exploded. Their sales went from $5 billion per year to 20 in just 2 years. That's a whole 300% increase in sales. And that's when Marlboro went from a small brand to a global icon.